My throat was grabbed. I was placed against the wall. I was thrown on the ground, and I was being choked so hard. I could not breathe. And the next thing I know, an object was being placed on me, wrapped up in a shirt, shaped like a gun. Imagine being in a car on a farm somewhere in the middle of nowhere, right? All you can see is bush. All you driving to it, all you can see is bush, right? All you can see.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. Alright, hope you enjoy this video.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today, I had like a totally completely different vlog plan to do, but I don't know, I kind of feel like I don't know if I need to, but I feel the need to share my story based on everything that's been happening. I'm not, for all the people who are not here in Jamaica or who are not aware of what's happening now, there's like this whole campaigning going on about stopping the violence against women, and it was sparked by a recent disappearance and apparent murder or homicide of a young lady, a 20-year-old young lady named Canis Jackson, if I get it right. Canis Jackson. She was missing and then she was found murdered. I'm not sure what the case was, what happened, but she left home for work and she went missing and they found her body, I think 2-3 days afterwards, right? So when I look at things like that, that could have been me. I've come this close to ended up being on the news, or like I would sometimes say when it was happening, like my life can't end like a Lifetime movie. Like my life has to have a happy ending. My life has to have a happy ending. Like, and so yeah, I don't know if this is the platform to share my experience, and I know I can't share all of it because it's just a lot, so I'll try my best to summarize as best as possible. Alright, so a lot of things has been happening lately. It's not just Canis. I believe there was two other murders recently as well. Both of them were in where were they? I think one was in Spanish Town, where they found a woman. I don't remember her name. They found her in her house, stabbed to death, and they said it was her boyfriend. There was another one, I'm not sure which parish, but it's more in a rural area, where the woman, her man, her ex-man, chop her up because she left him and she never want him back, and him got a shop. I believe it happened in a shop. Him got a shop and chop her to death, like pieces, like couple chops, well, right? And when I hear about these things, I try to put my past behind me. Like, not even try, it's behind me, because if I don't move on from the things that has happened to me, then I'll be living in the past and I won't ever find happiness, because I'm going to be paranoid and think that everybody's like that. And yeah, so I have completely pushed that part of my life in the past. I'm over it. But I know one day I would share my story, and as I said, maybe not on this platform, but yeah, anyway, like those women, I have had a relationship in which it could have ended pretty much the same, because my life was at risk more than once. My life was threatened more than once. I've been in right there when I could have died. I was almost killed. Basically, I was almost killed by my ex-boyfriend more than once. And nobody, there's probably a handful of people in my life that knows up to this days, and that includes very close girlfriends who I've gotten close to over the years, and also my ex-boyfriend would have known. My brother doesn't know to what extent, and my brother is like the closest family member to me. My mom doesn't know. My dad, not to this extent. They don't know about the attempted murder part of it. They know about an incident that took place while I was in the relationship. My dad doesn't know. I don't know. I can honestly, I can laugh today. I can sit and I can laugh. I can smile because I'm over it. I am over it. I've moved past it. But just the fact that this is how they're gonna find out, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what stopped me or prevented me from sharing it with them personally. Anybody sharing it with anybody. What stopped me from sharing it here? I'm a very, very, very private person, very private. I think even like starting my YouTube channel has pushed me to be more open about my life, and that's because I realized that when I share my stories, whatever it is, whether it's about how I achieve certain things, there's, even if it's one person, that it can help them to, if it can motivate them to do the same or change their life in some way, some form, even one, then that's good. And people have reached out to me, so I know that some of my experiences and some of the things that I've shared have definitely helped people, especially in terms of finances and stuff, because that's really what my channel is about. You guys see what my channel is about. It's not about something like this, right? But at the same time, it's called Journey with Josie. It's about my life. So sometimes I may feel compelled to share certain things, and this is one of them, right? So I was saying, they don't know to this extent, and so I don't know if it's because I was embarrassed to say it. I may have been a little bit embarrassed. I probably still am, maybe just a little. I don't know if it was pride, or just because I'm a private person. I don't know, but I didn't share it, and I want to share a little bit of it now, right? So a couple of years ago, I met a young man. At first, I didn't pay him no mind. It was like, they're not my type. I mean, he was, he seemed to have it together, yeah, but just wasn't physically attracted to him. However, I was in my last year of college, and I didn't have much to do, so ended up having conversations, yada yada yada. I finally gave him a chance and said, okay, let us go on a date. So when we went on a date, it was just magic. It's like everything just clicked, and but still, it was just, I was intrigued to get to know him more. And it all happened so quickly because we got to spend a lot of time together. I wasn't working, I was finishing my last semester of college, and we got to spend a lot of time together. And so I thought he was the sweetest guy ever. Like, this guy would not let, I never drive back then. He would never ever let me take the bus. Anywhere I'm at, he would come and pick me up. Anywhere I wanted to go, he would come and take me. Like, I was like, God. When I think about it now, I'm like, God, I never thought I'd meet somebody who seems like to know exactly what to do to make me happy. So anyway, we're in a relationship now, and everything is good. And you could tell that he was a bit jealous, and I guess you can call it insecure, because I remember, first time anything bad happened was when I was on my phone one day, and I was texting. I had my BlackBerry Bold. BlackBerry Bold, or one of them back then fancy phone, like my nice BlackBerry Bold, and I was messaging in BB Messenger. I don't remember who messaged me, but it's just everyday conversation, but I was smiling, and he was like, who you talk to? And I was like, just friends or whatever. I don't think that's the first time he had asked me who was I talking to on my phone, but I guess how I reacted, because I was like, why you ask me that? Like, why you behaving? I just remember he came and took the phone from me and just threw it in at the wall. And I cried because I'm like, why would you do that? First of all, you never buy me this phone. Why would you do that? I'm not talking to anybody. You never buy me a phone. You have no reason to throw it in at the wall. Why would you throw it in the wall? As a matter of fact, I'm supposed to have the phone because I keep all of my phones. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so see, I keep all my phones. It's not in this one. I guess I probably threw it away. I don't see it. I'm gonna check again. Alright. So, like I said, I keep all my phones. See? S5, S4, S6. The bold must be here too, because once I don't normally lose phones, I keep all my phones because I don't know, I always think that maybe one day I can retrieve data from them or something. Here's the bold. I guess it kind of straightened up now, but if you look, it's a little bit bent. He threw it. It couldn't close after he threw it in the wall. This is from 2013, guys. This incident happened from 20. That's how long I've had this. How long ago is that? 8 years ago. So this is the phone, right? He threw it in the wall. Phone completely mashed up. He refused to buy me back a new phone, and I think afterwards, when I look at it, I think that was his intention. His intention was to leave me phoneless so that I wouldn't have anybody to talk to. During the time when we actually ended up living together, but I didn't move out, because my thing is that I'm not gonna move out of my house. If I'm in my house, I'm moving. I'm not moving with no man or none like that. So what happened was, we lived together, but every weekend I would come and switch out clothes, take them back. So it was back and forth. I still had everything here. Only thing I was moving back and forth is clothes and shoes, because as I said, I'm not moving out until my house I'm moving on. So that was my thing, right? So we were there, and some weekends he didn't want to take me over, because some weekends I'd say I'm gonna stay over for the weekend and you can come back for me on Monday. He didn't want that. He wanted me to stay with him the whole time. Throughout that period of time, we were getting to know each other. When I look back, I realized that he was keeping me close to him, and he didn't want me to spend time with anybody. Even one time I had a reunion with some of my college classmates after we graduated, because as I said, I was in final year, and after the semester finished, a couple months after, we wanted to chill and have a drink, and I remembered right when I was about to leave out, he started this whole argument with me. I ended up crying so hard, because I'm like, why are you doing this? I'm going out. My face was so red, but at this point in time I was like, I'm still going. I am going. So I still went. But I realized what he was doing was isolating me from all of my friends, my family, everybody. He wanted me for himself. He didn't want me to spend any time with anybody else, never want me to hang with anybody else. Anywhere I needed to go, he would take me. I thought him taking me to places was because, coming for me and picking me up and not wanting me to take the taxi or the bus. I thought it was because he cared about me, but I later realized that it wasn't necessarily because he cared. It was because he was trying to control my movement. He wanted to know where I was going at every time, every hour, every minute of the day. And so that's why he did that. He was narcissistic, he was possessive, he was obsessive, and he would even say sometimes, later on in the relationship that he was obsessed with me and he doesn't know if he could ever let me go. But I just thought, me being in love, I thought, oh, he's just, being mushy and nice, and I'm not looking into it. Afterwards, when everything finally went down and I'm out of the situation, I was able to look back and realize what was really happening, and that while I was in love, I had somebody who was completely obsessed with me and was really and truly was never going to let me go. So as I said, the phone incident was the first time I ever saw any anger. Second time anything happened, and I would always tell people, like, I was not physically abused. It was more of an emotional abuse. And I think with this incident, that's what I convinced myself, which is why I went back. So what happened was, I remember I was making breakfast one morning, and I don't remember what happened, but only thing I know, my throat was grabbed. I was placed against the wall. I was thrown on the ground, and I was being choked so hard. I could not breathe. I was frightened. I was begging him to stop. I didn't know the person. And when I tell you that, it was nothing serious that was happening. Like, I don't even know if something was, I don't remember if something that was, but we weren't arguing or anything. And when he let go, I remember it was so hard for me to breathe. I was coughing non-stop, and he actually went for water and gave to me and was trying to, help me to breathe. And I just thought that was so weird, because how the hell do you choke me like that to the point where I can't breathe, and then now you're trying to help me to start breathing? So anyway, when we did all of that, he stepped out of the house, he went for a drive, and immediately I called my girlfriend and I said, come and pick me up. I don't know, she didn't drive either, but I think she got her friend to come take her to me, and I packed up my things and I went by her, and we were in Kingston, and I went by her house. And I remember the next thing I know, my mom is calling my phone, my dad is calling my phone, my brother is calling my phone, right? By this I bought myself a banger, banger, one of them old, what you call them? What kind of phone you call them? Banger phone. Not a smartphone, it was a banger phone. I managed to save and buy back a banger because he refused to buy me back a phone, right? So they're calling me, and I'm like, so what happened was, my girlfriend decided that she was gonna tell my parents and my brother about the incident. And as I said, I'm a very private person. For me, I would have never called them. They would have never ever known, right? That's why I called her, because she was my friend and she was the only person that I felt comfortable with rescuing me, if you want to put it that way, and just taking me away out of that situation so that I could think on what I was going to do, because I could have easily called a cab and go back home, but I didn't. I called her. And my brother was overseas playing football, big up himself, called me. He was angry. He wanted to get somebody to go deal with him. I don't know what, but my brother was angry. My brother was not pleased that nobody had put him on him one sister, right? My dad was more caring and compassionate. He tried to talk to me to say, what happened, like, in a situation with that, just level with me and let me know that no man mustn't put them on me, whether it be a choke or whatever. My mom, she's a atheist, so she was angry too, right? And of course they had all met him before, so they were not pleased about that, except my brother. My brother didn't meet him because my brother wasn't here. So I left my girlfriend's house and I went home, and he called me or messaged me and he apologized, and he seemed sincere and genuine, and I was like, okay. you know. I was like, how could you do that to me though? Like, how? Why? What happened? What did I say? Something wrong? Like, I don't even, as I said, guys, I tried to put this, I don't even remember what it was, but trust me, it was not nothing serious. And I let him talk me into it, and I talked myself into it. I talked myself into the fact that, because my thing is this: no man can lick me. Nah, there would no man will lick me. Me, this smart, beautiful, educated girl. Me an idiot. Me no dunce spot. Me no clown. Me no man fool. Why would I ever be with a man who put his hands on me? But I convinced myself, well, you know, him never lick me. Him never box me down. Him just choke me. And he talked to me and I talked and he apologized, and by the next day, he came back for me. And yeah, so he said he would never do it again. And boy, wasn't I wrong for believing that, because he did it again and again and again and again. He choked me several times after that. Different incident. Listen, the amount of choke me get, my neck, I remember sometimes my neck feeling so sore. And you guys know I love gym. I stopped gym because he was now thinking that, why am I going to the gym? I look good, I look sexy. Why do I need to go to the gym every day? You look good already. You have money at the gym. Why you go to the gym every day? These are the things he would say. And it got to me to the point where I said, okay, let me not go to the gym anymore. And as I said, this is a part of his narcissistic way of isolating me from everyone and everything, right? And you know, I don't want to spend the whole time talking, because as I said, this will be a never ending story. But imagine being driven on a road to, so let me get into a little bit just so you guys know. So you guys know, so there became a point in the relationship now where I said, you know, I'm unhappy. Nobody now mess with my happiness. Jody, what are you doing? I moved away from him, meaning the back and forth, and I came back home. So it was just me and him going out. It was no longer me even sleeping over anymore. None of that cut out, because I'm like, I'm not going to deal with that. I started back the gym because I had stopped the gym for like 8 months. This is the first time in my entire life I've ever missed the gym for so long, right? First time. I've been going to the gym since I was 17 and I've never missed more than a month. I stopped for 8 months. When I decided to start a new gym, now they had the new gym, the one that I go to now. And I started, and I met people in there socially, and he came to the gym, outside of the gym, and down to the trainer. And if that trainer watches this video, he will now know that I'm the young lady that man was looking for. So what happened was, I remember one morning we had a boot camp class at the gym, and we were all brought to the door as females, because the boot camp was like 7 o'clock in the morning, right? And we were all brought to the door of the gym to say, any of you ladies know that young man? He has been out there since yesterday with a camera. Do any of you know him? When I looked out the window or the door, through the glass door, there was my boyfriend. He was convinced that I started back the gym, or now I have money at the gym, so he wanted to catch me in the act. So he had a camera stalking. As I said, we didn't live together anymore, so he would know when I was coming in and out of the house or going to the gym. If he asks, of course I'm going to tell him or whatever. So apparently he was outside of the gym waiting to see me and whomever show up, which me and nobody wouldn't show up, because I am not, listen, when I'm in a relationship, I'm in a relationship. I am not in relationships, right? but he was so insecure and narcissistic and obsessive and possessive. I was his, and I couldn't be nobody else. I can't have no friends, I can't do nothing, right? So what happened was, so fine, I realized it's him. I didn't say anything because it would have been too embarrassing. And up to this day, if you're watching this video, yeah, I was the young lady. I was the young lady who the guy outside of the camera was looking for, because they said he was outside with the camera in the car in the parking lot, and he was out there from the day before, right? So he thought I was seeing this guy. There was a guy at the gym who, and let me tell you how he thought me and the guy was in something. He and I were driving one day, and I saw the guy running on the road, and I said, that guy goes to my gym. And apparently he knew the guy in passing somehow before, right? And so because I said I knew the guy and I've spoken to the guy in the gym, he thought me and the guy were together. Anyway, one night he came for me and said we're gonna go get ice cream by Häagen-Dazs, because when we were living together, that was our favorite Sunday spot. We would always go get Häagen-Dazs every single Sunday. That was like, we would go on dates like at least 2-3 times for the week, and Sundays was our Häagen-Dazs days. And so he came for me at my house, and all of a sudden the mood changed because we were passing a community, and I said, I think that's where the guy lives, the same guy from the gym. It just came out of my mouth. The next thing I know, the vehicle was skidding and went into the community, and the next thing I know, an object was being placed on me, wrapped up in a shirt, shaped like a gun, and now demanding that I tell him where the guy live. And I'm like, I don't know where the guy live. I just know that he lives in the community because he told me that's where he lives. And I'm like, I don't know. Would he believe me? He would not believe me. He would not believe me. Anyway, I can't. Anyway, this platform won't allow me to tell you guys every single thing that happened, but imagine being driven to an unknown location against your will, right? One time in a cane field, imagine being in a car being interrogated, right? And I mean like in the middle of nowhere. Imagine being in a car on a farm somewhere in the middle of nowhere, right? All you can see is bush. Driving to it, all you can see is bush, right? All you can see is bush. Then being turned into even deeper forest. Can't do nothing because there's a child's lock on the door. No, he didn't have a child, but apparently when he bought the car, there was a child's lock on the door and he never took it off. Imagine not being able to come out of a car that's going into bushes on what seemed to be a farm, and then being parked in the middle of that, only to know being interrogated with a taser. Imagine being tased while being asked questions about you knowing a particular individual, the same guy, you knowing him, you and him have anything going on, where were you, all kind of questions that you really and truly don't know how the hell he even came up with. This stuff is like, his mind is, I don't know, but right, how I got away from that situation. So we're in the car, and he was tasing me with a taser, asking me questions. Boy, it's embarrassing. Yeah, like shit like this is supposed to happen to me, not me, but it did, right? It did happen. It did happen, and I can't change it. The most I can do is tell my story. But I was being tased in the car on a farm. I'm gonna tell you guys exactly where. So, you know where in Portmore where the roundabout is to go on Mandela, that left turn that you could take before you go on the bridge to head out to Mandela, where they have a stoplight now. Back then there was no stoplight there. Imagine being driven down that road, and then I think we turned off on the left into some fields, right? And he had me there with a taser, and he was asking me all kind of question. Who is this guy? From the same guy that he knew from passing. Am I in things with the guy? Have I ever been to the guy's house? And each question, he's tasing me. I remember it. Yeah, he was tasing me, and I remember, and I was sweating profusely. I was sweating. It was sweating because it was torture. It was not, but I was sweating so much because it was torture, and because of the torture. And I remember saying, I want to pee, and he allowed me to come out the car. He took the child's lock off and allowed me to come out, and I went to pee, and he came around the car to the door with me to pee, and I peed, and then I got back in the car, and then he was interrogating me again continuously, but this time he wasn't tasing me as much. He was more listening and asking me questions and demanding answers, because even when I said no or I don't know, he still would want. That was not enough. It's as if I had to tell him what he wanted to hear in order for him to stop. Anyway, I remember sweating so much, like my hair was sweating, my clothes was like completely soaked, right? And then I remember saying in my head, like, Jody, what if this man kill you down here? Because, like, as I said, he had choked me before multiple times after that, to the point where I probably couldn't breathe, but I just didn't die. And I remember him saying, I remember me being in the car while being tased. I remember saying, no, Jody, you can't go down like this. You beautiful, smart, brilliant girl, when I'm no, you know do nothing. You love watch Lifetime movie, and I love watch Lifetime movies, and I love criminal investigation. Like, those things just spark my fire, and I'm like, I can't go down like that. I can't go down like all the cases that I've watched, all the movies that I've watched. I have to be a fighter. I can't sit down in this car and make this man tase me and then kill me or strangle me and dump my body. And so I said, you know what, you have to do something. You have to do something. You have to get out of the car. There's nowhere you're going to be able to pull the door and come out, so you have to find a way to come out. And so after a while, because we were out there for hours in the middle of the night, and I'm talking, this was like probably 3 o'clock by now, 3 a.m. Maybe not 3, I think probably like 1, because we left home from, I think Häagen-Dazs would have closed like 10 or 11, so we would have left out in time to catch it. So by then we were in the field for a couple hours, probably like an hour or so. And then I remember saying, I want to pee again. And of course it's believable because I was sweating and everything that was happening, it was so intense. And he said, okay. But this time he messed up, because he allowed me to go pee by myself. He opened the door, and I came out the car, and I went right by the passenger door where I did the first time to pee. I opened the door. I don't even know if I stooped like I was gonna pee, but listen, all me know, me take off. Listen, as I said, I used to do track and field in prep school. I was champion girl, so that means I was the fastest girl in the school, the whole of 5th grade and 6th grade, right? When I say I take off, I mean I take off. I run through the bush. When I say me I jump over a pile of dirt and me don't know what kind of feel me in about me a run and all me I see a bush and the only thing crossing my mind is like shit, what if I run into somebody on this farm that's a rapist or something. I'm like, you can't stop, you have to run until you see the road. I ran straight down in the bushes and then I was like, no, I need to find the main road. So I remember jumping, taking left and running down straight and taking left. And then I remember seeing the road, like you could tell that that was the road, even though it was dark and there was literally, I don't even think there was any light, there was no road lights down there, but it was lit enough for you to see a clearer part to say that's where the road was. And so I was on the road walking now, and then the next thing I know, I saw this car coming, but the car was driving so fast and the light was on. So I was like, okay, I can get help. But then same time it clicking on my head like shit, what if it's him? Because when I run out the car, when I was in the bush and I ran, he knew that I ran. He saw me when I took off because yeah, he see me when I take off. And I guess he didn't run me down. He just, I don't know, he looked like he never even tried to run me down. Him just come out on the road. So apparently it was him. So I saw same time that it was him driving. And when I tell you, say, me chuck off in the bush, me chuck off in the bush. Me not talk, me see the car, and me walk go back in the bush. No, me see the car come, and the speed of the car come and the light, me literally dive off back in the bush, on the sidewalk. Not the sidewalk, but off of the road, because I was on the edge of the road, on the asphalt, and the bush was there. Me literally dive. So he didn't see me. So he drove past. I realized it definitely was him. And then, so I got back on the road, but not too much out in the road because I'm like, I don't want, if anything, you know, him see me. Next thing I know, the car come back again. I drive fast. And I'm like, shit, like, this man no intend for... Anyway, I continued running, but closer to the bush, and I ended up back where the roundabout was. You want to see me in the middle of the night I run. When I say me no stop, me mean me no stop. I run with the roundabout there. Right where the runabout was, police were there. There was a car there, a police car there, and apparently they pulled over somebody. So they had, and I said, I said, God save my life. I mean, God save my life, because how does it happen that I need help? Because I don't know which car would I stop on the road at that hour in the middle of the night. I see a young girl and help me, and then at the same time, if somebody did stop. I mean, no woman not there on the road them hours there. If a man was there and I got more afraid to somebody else take me. And these were the things that was going through my head. What if I see another car on the road to help me? Am I really going to stop another car? Because what if it's a man? And then what if him no carry me go rape me? Right? And so, because my mom grew me up very paranoid, like don't trust men, don't take no ride from a stranger. So me knowing at the middle of the night. No. Let me tell you how paranoid my mom is. My mom raised me that say, no man must in any taxi where you take. The only man must in any taxi where you take is the driver. I remember one time coming from church and all I had was my bus fare to come back home. And a man was in the car, in the taxi. A man was in the taxi, but two women were also there. And I remember one lady came off first and the other woman was about to come off. I felt safe because they were in there. Even though mommy said don't take a taxi with no other man than the driver, the fact that the other women were in there, I was like, okay, I can stay in there as long as they're in there. When the last woman was about to come off, me come out too. And me walk it go me yard because me not take no taxi with no man in it other than the driver. And mommy always say, when you're driving a taxi with a man, don't sit up on the front seat. When you're driving a taxi, sit down behind the taxi man. And make sure say walk with your pen and your pencil. Listen, it got to the point where my mom gave me a knife to walk with. If him try nothing, one joke in him neck. I kid you not. That's how my mom grew me. And I don't blame her. Because I think that has you know, that's the reason why I'm still here today. So anyway, so as I was saying, I saw the police. I went to them. I'm like, my boyfriend is trying to kill me, and in my drive up and down the road, and same time him drive come back now and pull up with the you can't believe him pull up where at the roundabout with the police let go the person that they had stopped, and so me, him, and the police actually back up them gun after him and ask him what him a do. And I said him carry me around at the bush and him have a taser and him a tase me with it. And I kid you not, them was some at it police, because when I said me feel like them they're gonna shoot him, they were gonna, I'ma beg them, say please just leave him, just carry me home. And I went with them in their car, and they took us to the station. First of all, they took us to the station and I had to make a report, and he was there. And then they took me home, and even when them taking me home, I was still paranoid. I was like, God, what if them policemen they carry me go rape me? That's how paranoid I was when it comes to those things. So anyway, they took me home, and that was that. That's just one incident. There was that, and sometimes this incident was not the last either. This was not the end of it. There were other incidents. There was one time where him carry me, where we're having a conversation in the vehicle, and I came out on the road. Like the main road is there, and then my house is off the main road. I remember we were talking about something, and he got upset, and I came out the car, and I was gonna walk home. Before I could even walk away from the car, he came out of his side of the car, got around my side, because I was coming from the passenger side at the front, grabbed me, threw me around the back. As I said, child's lock is around there on the doors. Threw me around the back, asked me where me I go, if me think me I go leave him, and drove me down to Hellshaw, where there is a cliff, and he was choking me, and I had to say, God, thank you that at least, I think the thing about it is that I knew, based on everything that I've experienced in life and everything that I've watched on the movie, as ironic as it sounds, I knew that I had to talk him. The only way he was going to let me go is to try and talk him down, like tell him how much I love him, and like, you know, let him believe it, because I did love him. But in that moment, like whatever he was thinking, I had to persuade him from believing what he was thinking that was causing him to still choke me. So we were there in Hellshaw, way down, where you have like a cliff, and he was in the car choking the hell out of me. My neck was so red, my nose, everything was just so sore and tender. And I remember him saying while he was choking me, the reason he drove me down there is because, you know, he might get rid of me for good, because may I hurt him. Anyway, I persuaded him. That was another incident. That was not the end of it. Even after the incident with the police and the roundabout, I still went back to him. He convinced me that, you know, he loved me and he would never have hurt me, and he was just trying to scare me. And yeah, and I believed him. Because then I kept saying to myself, there have been other incidents where he could have done it, like even the Hellshaw one, even when he could have strangled me in the house, he really and truly, it was always at the edge, but not quite there. I didn't die. I was like, maybe he really wouldn't have killed me. Alright, maybe he really wouldn't have killed me. He's just doing these things because, you know, he's insecure and he's not confident in our relationship, and because I moved away from him, he's even having more insecurities because he probably think that I now have somebody else. And we continued to date each other for a year after that. Of course, as I said, I wasn't with him anymore, so he couldn't strangle me. couldn't choke me no more. And for the most part, everything was good until the first and last time he hit me. He finally hit me. First and last time a man will ever hit me. One time, it was one right across my face. And it was so, you guys know I lost my job recently, right? Remember I said that, I don't know if you guys would have known, but based on other vlogs, like I started in that job as an intern. And this, I'm gonna tell you, as a matter of fact, I started this job as an intern, and it was while I was an intern, like probably the first week of interning, this incident happened. And I think it even made him even more insecure, because now I was no longer going to be home where he knew where I was. I was now going to be in a workplace where you probably have other men. And it was one day after work, one of our spots, you know, we like to go and watch this. You guys, I don't know if you guys know this, but I love watching the sunset. So he came to pick me up at work, and we were going by Palisados to watch a sunset. We went by Palisados to watch a sunset, and it was a good, nice date, you know, because we hadn't done it in a while, and it was like taking us back to where we started, right? However, while I was there, I got a phone call from a guy, the guy from the gym that I know. I think he was asking me if I don't know what he was asking, but he called me. So I didn't pick up the phone, because I didn't pick up the phone. So either the phone was on silent or I didn't pick up the phone, but I ignored it. And you know, we were together. Out of respect, I'm not going to answer any phone calls while we're spending our alone time together. Anyway, by the time I got home, the phone rang again. He actually saw the call coming and asked me who called me. So I said, it's such and such. What am I calling for? I said, I don't know. I haven't called him back yet. I think I got angry because I was saying, stop asking me about this guy. Me and this guy, nothing. We're friends. I can't have friends. Before I could even finish one, just, and when I say I've ever been hit in my face in my entire life, never or so yet. Like my whole face was just swollen, like it's so hot, I'm gonna say it hot, it connect, it hot, like, and it wasn't like here, it was like the whole here. I remember after he hit me, he ran. It happened right here in this room, right here. He ran in the kitchen for a knife, and I closed the door, and I was trying to push this thing to close the door. And even though the door still, should I say the door have a crack so mommy can't come to the little crack tear upon the door that I painted over. Yeah, if she watch this, she will come look on it. That is because I pushed the TV stand there, because he was trying to come in and he had the knife at the door. He eventually got to push it open, and he came up to me with the knife, and he went like this, but he didn't stab me. He actually looked at my face and he dropped the knife because he realized what he had done to my face. When I saw his reaction, I was in pain from the face, but when I saw his I had to look in the mirror. When I looked in the mirror, like, the thing started swelling up almost immediately. Not just that, there was a bloodshot in my eyes, and he ran for ice, and he had me put ice on. So that's why I tell you, he's so weird, narcissistic, because how the hell do you hurt me and then try to help me to get better? He went for the ice and told me to put it on and don't take it off. Even when I would brace it off a little because it got cold, he would said, no, don't take it off. And I'm glad he made me do that, because that helped me. I was able to go to work the next day with the bloodshot in my eye, but my face was not swollen any at all. I had a red ring around my eyes of bloodshot. And I don't know who saw it, but I was just pretending like nothing happened. It's just a normal day. Yeah. But when I saw everything that happened and look at my face, I cursed at him and I tell him to come out, or else I'm gonna call the police. And I said, do not ever come near me again. We are done. And he said he's sorry, and he walked away. I think he came back. He called me after that, and I said, don't come. I went to the police actually the following day to file a report. And I said, I went to the station and I filed a report, and I'm getting a restraining order against you, which the police did tell me to do, and they told me to go to the court. I left work the following day to go to the court, and when I got to the courthouse was closed. However, I told my ex that I got the restriction and he's not supposed to come some amount of feet near me, and I've never seen him from that day. I glimpsed him once, but he would call me occasionally, but he had never come. But I had nightmares for a while after that, because I remember even like sleeping here sometimes, because when he used to come to me, he wouldn't come at the front, he would come to the side where my window is, and he would call me for me to know that he's here and come and let him in. So for even months I would be in my room and I'm hearing my name being called, and going on the ground and peeping through the window to see if it's really him, because I was scared, because I keep remembering him saying that he will never let me go. No other man can ever have me. Like, I'm his. And that stayed for a while. And then, I just mentally tell myself that I have to let go. I can't live in fear. I have to move on. And I promised myself one thing. I promised myself that it didn't matter what I went through, I would never, ever, ever let that relationship taint my outlook on love, taint how I look at men. Like, I hear women say all the time, man a dog, a man a drunkard. I've never uttered those words out of my mouth, and I never will, because not because I have a bad relationship with one man mean all my relationships gonna be bad. No, I'm gonna have blooming, wonderful relationships, marriage, all that good stuff, right? It's never going to taint my outlook. What I tell you though is that I look at things differently. I try not to be so blind, because I know that there are narcissistic people in this world who would do stuff like that, who would isolate you from the ones you love and try to control your mind, try to control just everything, try to control you and keep you for themselves and manipulate you. So I'm more aware of the signs. The things that I thought he was doing because he loved me and he cared about me was not. Even if it was that, it was not just that. It was also because he wanted to control my movements. He wanted to know where I was. He didn't want me to be around anybody who could have any influence on me. He didn't want me to spend time with anybody else. And so, that's my thing. I really hope this was not too long. But yeah, that's just part of my experience. As I said, guys, this is not even half of it. This is not even half. Hopefully one day I'll get to tell that story how I really want to tell it. Right? Anyway, my advice to women is just to be smart. Not because you're in love. Look behind that. Sometimes people do things. There's always the signs. There were always signs there. I just refused to see them. As I said, the whole, taking me everywhere, giving me everything out. The signs were there. I just ignored them, and I perceived them to be something else that they weren't. So the signs are always there. If there's a man who is obsessed with you, who acts possessive with you or of you, you're not a property. Those are some of the signs. Like, just be aware of the type of men you date, because some of them really don't have it together. And it, as I said, it doesn't change my outlook. I just know how to, not to take everything at face value, but look deeper into people's actions and not be paranoid about it, but just be aware. And so that would be my advice to women. Like, be aware of the type of men you are dating and ensure that them right. You know, you don't want nobody obsessed with you and possessed with you, possessive of you, and then next thing you know, them find your body. Because every time I see something, I just remember how blessed I am to still be here today to even be telling you guys this. Like, I never ever thought those things would have happened to me. Never. If anybody did ever tell me that, I would have never believed them. I would never believe that I would have been in a relationship that somebody would hurt me physically. Right? Never. Tried to kill me several times. Me having to run for my life in the middle of nowhere. Me thinking that I'm going to end up on the news, and me saying to myself, no, I'm a strong person. That can't happen to me. I can't end up like these movies that I watch. I always say those things can't happen to me. And I never knew those things would happen to me. And I'm just grateful and happy to be here, honestly, because yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope that this will encourage someone somewhere who is going through the same thing to get up and leave. Someone who is afraid to tell somebody about it, because I think that was one of my biggest mistakes, is that I was too embarrassed to tell anybody, and then on top of that, I made excuses for him, made excuses to say, his intention was not to hurt me. I made excuses, and there are a lot of lessons to learn from that, and believe me, I've learned every single one of them, and I take them with me. As I said, while I don't allow it to taint my judgment, I take every lesson from it, and my lifetime movie is gonna be one of those happy ending lifetime movies, because I am here, alive and well, and very grateful and thankful that I was able to leave that situation alive. And I'm just here being happy and finding my purpose and doing everything that I need to do to live a wonderful life, a positive life, an impactful life. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next video.